So today I have a really special guest here for another video about the Tinder Portrait Project, and that guest is Trea.
Hello, here I am.
There she is. So she's here because she was one of the people that I painted as part of the Tinder Portrait Project and is still one of my very good friends to this day. Obviously, since she is here and I speak to her and haven't had to block her number unlike some of the people from the project.
Always a good sign.
Always a good sign when you don't need to block someone's number. Yeah, so these are the two paintings that I did of her, and we're just gonna talk about like what it was like doing the Tinder Portrait Project from sort of start to end. Like, what was the experience of not me, you know? Because you guys have heard a lot about what I've done, and now I want you to hear what it's like to be one of the people that was painted. So what was your experience like?
Well, I was really excited to do it. I know I've told you this, but when I saw your profile on Tinder, I'm pretty sure I super liked you, and I immediately messaged you and was like, is this real? Like, are you really doing that? And was like really psyched about it, and probably came off as like a little weird. I don't know.
That was perfect though. I love that.
I just thought it was a really cool concept, right?
Yeah, clearly I swiped right too, so.
Clearly. When it came time for you to actually come over, because you came and you did, this was the first one we did.
Yeah,
and
this was at Trea's dorm,
it was in my
at
dorm
Northeastern.
At Northeastern. And so when it came time for you to come over and do it, I was nervous, because I was like, I didn't know you, obviously.
Fair. I was nervous too, except for the fact that I'd already done that with a lot of people, so I was less nervous about it.
And I was like, I mean, it's probably fine. She seems like a cool person because she's doing this, so it's probably fine. And we had talked a little bit over text. We hadn't talked too much yet, but a little bit.
But just enough to know we both weren't serial killers, you know,
right,
just
exactly.
the basic stuff that you're looking for.
What you need. So I was a little nervous, but also excited. And you came over, and the first thing I thought was I really liked your hair because it was purple. And we hit it off really quickly. It was pretty clear from the first few minutes that we got along really well and we had similar interests, and it ended up just being really fun, the whole thing, and I was really excited about it. And you left this in my room the whole time we were doing it because it was tough for you to get it back to your place when it was still wet.
Yeah,
and
I didn't want to bring a wet painting into an Uber or
Right.
or something. I thought that might make my rating go down a bit.
A little bit. So whenever I would have other people over, I was always like, look at this painting that this girl is doing of me in my room. It's right here. You can look at it. It's really cool. So yeah, I had a really good time, and clearly it worked out pretty well since I'm still here at this point.
Aww, that's so cute. No, that's true. I mean, if you've used Tinder, you know, some people you meet and you're like, ew, why does the internet exist, and how introduced me to this person? And sometimes you meet people who end up becoming lifelong friends that you just see and keep doing cool artsy shit with. I just assume that all people's friendships revolve around art somehow. I just don't know how to relate to people otherwise. And that's really why I did the project, because I was like, I'm not just gonna go out and meet random people otherwise. But yeah, that was sort of the idea of the project. It was just to trick myself into making new friends in a way, because if I just wouldn't have downloaded Tinder to just do it, you know? But yeah, if it weren't for art, I just wouldn't have met all of these really cool people. So I'm really grateful that I have this skill that connects me with other people. And it's cool looking at it close up. I haven't seen it close up since I painted it, really. I just have been hanging it up, but cool details.
Yeah, I remember because you came in and you really liked all the shit I had.
Yeah.
Sorry, can I swear?
Yeah, totally.
You really liked all the shit I had in my room and on my desk and everything, and you really liked the lights I had, and so you wanted to do the whole room and not just me. And so I remember I was I think I had a bowl on my desk, and I was like, should that not be in it? I don't know.
Is it still in it? Can we see it?
I can't tell.
It's hard to tell. I wrote about it in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm also I'm writing a book about the whole project, so there's chapter Trea, of course. has to be there. And so I wrote about that. I just basically like describe everything that you see here, because I also want it to be an audiobook so you can like listen to it. I don't know, that would be cool. But yeah, there was like a bowl out, there's like this, if you don't mind me saying, like there was a pill bottle here.
Yeah.
Like a Polaroid type camera, a jeans jacket, some reusable water bottles.
Yeah. I had my old school iPod.
A classic. And over here you don't see it, but there was also a record player. And a lot of cacti. Like
So
here's
many,
one,
yeah.
here's one. Behind her bed you don't see this area, but there were like
The
5
window,
here
yeah.
or something. Like a lot. And then there were some photographs that
Yeah.
you took up on your walls.
Yeah.
And there was this poster over here. What was this poster again? It was like Captain
This
America.
one's Captain America.
Yeah.
That one I think is the Star Wars one that I have.
Nice. Oh my god, I forgot about
Yeah.
that. Oh, it's like I'm back in your room now.
Right?
I love it.
Oh, because I have all these things still up in my new bedroom in my apartment now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that one was a photo I took of a bicycle. I think that one was a drawing that I had bought, like of Copley Square.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's a place in Boston for the many of you that are literally not from Boston
Right.
and don't know. But yeah, if you couldn't tell that we're from Mass, got our Dunkins.
On brand.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I had like all my textbooks and stuff up here. And then the lights are for the plants, so it's like a grow light, so that because it's like a purple UV light, so it
Yeah.
helps the plants grow.
So you can see some of that
Yeah,
pinkish
so I remember
light.
you like really liked that.
Oh,
You were
I
like,
love
I want
that.
this on. And it was funny because I had just used that for like a photography project for one of my photo classes.
Yeah.
Like taking pictures of the stuff on my desk with that light on to get that color too. So clearly we both
Yeah.
liked that.
And it was also funny. There was the thing that we were talking about, how like for the Tinder Portrait Project, I'd also dated some of the people that I painted, and I was just left with these massive oil paintings of people who I would prefer to have forgotten. And Trea related to this.
I did.
Yeah.
Because I was taking a photo class at the time, because I'm a photo minor. And so for one of my projects, I had like a project where I had to do portraits, and I had taken a bunch of photos of this guy I had been dating at the time, and then during that project he dumped me, and then I had to go edit the
I'm
photos.
sorry for laughing. It's just
No, it's hilarious
funny
now.
because it's relatable.
Right, no, it's
because
hilarious
like,
now because
so
I'm like over it.
specifically relatable.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I had to like go edit the photos like after he had dumped me, and I was like, oh my god, this is so painful because I'm like don't want to think about him right now because he just dumped me, but I have to go like stare at his face.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like hilarious.
Yeah, and that's how it felt at first when I first started writing the book. Like after I had finished the project, it was torturous. Like it was just so painful to have to sit there and write about like Dave or oh no, I shouldn't say names. It was so painful to write about guy number 3 or whatever we're gonna call him. We'll change his name. The only person whose name I'm not changing is actually Trea.
Oh, really?
I think so. Some names I'll keep, like names that are really vague, like
Yeah.
who I don't even mention like what school Dave went to. Like
Mhm.
no one. There's a lot of people named Dave in Cambridge. I can probably keep his name. But then there are very specific names, and then I
Right.
say like this person belonged to this specific frat at MIT. Like
Right.
I'm not gonna
You're,
give
like,
out
not
his
gonna
name.
actually say.
So yeah. And then I have friends who like maybe modeled naked or something and aren't
Yeah.
comfortable with having that information about them
Right.
out in the world. So, but I don't think we did anything too crazy that you
Yeah.
wouldn't share on social media
No.
otherwise, you know. So when I met you, you were a sophomore?
No, I was a third year.
Third year at
Yeah.
Northeastern, right? Because at Northeastern they do 5 years in a lot of majors. Because there's the year where you do the co-op.
Yeah.
Which is basically like they go and work in their field and get field experience.
Yeah.
So you were a third year at Northeastern, journalism student. I don't know why I was about to say journaling student. I expected to only meet some of these people a few times and have them model for me, and like that would be it. We'd shake hands, say goodbye, whatever. And in most cases that is what happened, but in some cases I got to watch people's lives unfold. You know, there's one person in the project who I watched like have a baby and like be a super grown up and stuff. And then there's Trea, who's like gonna graduate this year. Not to scare you too much. You know, it's really cool to get to watch people's lives unfold and to like get invested in different people's lives. So, and where was I? I was living in Cambridge, had my...
Which is where we did this.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's Trea, one of the super awesome people from the Tinder Portrait Project, and I'm really glad you guys got to meet her, since I got to meet her too. Wait, does that make sense? Okay, sure. Bye, guys.